Mission fucking accomplished. Goon Swarm is not a threat.
Good luck with your all's dumb nullsec war snuffed out #1. Anunnaki Keepstar is next, and then come on.
There, then you were just going to fucking magically jump into EVE Online in a system, and it was just going to load, and nobody was going to call you fucking stupid later?
There's an Eagle fleet that has dive bombed a Megatron fleet. This is the bravest shit I have ever seen in my life.
The best possible shot to do something to the Imperium, and you fucked it up.
I talked a lot of shit over the last couple months. It's time to fucking eat some. And I showed up here to eat shit. Like,
the reason that this Keepstar didn't get contested, and I cannot make this up, is because of tie-dye.
Guess where Goons are going to live after this war is over?
Earthland is 319, I believe, right?
Hell.
Hi, sick.
I can
People
tell you very
overreacting.
clearly, our Diplos didn't even fucking care. So, like,
What?
White daddy.
Good evening and welcome to the most audioist EVE Online live show there is, with the audio definitely working, always working, from the first minute that we go live.
Why wouldn't it be working, as a matter of fact?
Well, I didn't say it wouldn't. I said it always works. I said it always works. And today is no different. It's perfect. It's perfect. But what you do have, guys, that is absolutely beautiful for the first time is 5, count them, 5 beautiful webcams all lined up, so that you can see us, you can see our beautiful faces and get a real sense of just how much all of us love EVE Online, the online video game. Well, you're already bored of knowing that I'm Phantomite, but we also have Redline, we have Luke, we have Skyhawk, and we have Dead Center. Somebody who is going to be one of your next CSM representatives, the Puce Moose. How is everybody?
Hello, everybody.
No pressure.
No.
Don't make me a liar, Puce.
I'll do my best.
It's been the best part of 3 weeks since our last broadcast, because obviously we've had 2 weekends of Alliance tournament feeders. Did anybody here get a chance to watch any of the feeders?
I only watched the ones that you commentated.
Which is incredible because I didn't do any commentary whatsoever. So thanks.
No, not for the I only watched while you were on the desk was when I was watching.
Okay, all right, I'll take it. Hey, listen,
I supported my boy Phantomite, but that's it.
And you know what? I sat down for that. I stand up for you, Redline.
You stand up for yourself. Yeah. What do you mean?
Well,
I briefly moved to Australia there, Redline.
Yeah, you did. That was fun for you, I'm sure. You defied gravity for a few moments there.
All the blood rushed to Puce's head when he did that, and it changed his hair color as well. Let's talk about some of the things that have happened recently. Not over the last 3 weeks, that's too far back, but in recent times, several things have happened. We'll get to the updates later, but I was hoping that perhaps one of us could fill our beautiful listeners in on the Goon Keepstar that they definitely didn't need. Tell me what that was about. I mean, I know that the Horde lost basically as much as a Keepstar to kill the Keepstar, but you know.
I mean, kind of.
Yeah, so
they lost quite a bit less than the Keepstar.
I put the last minute for the Keepstar into Twitch chat, but really this was just their attempt at a beachhead. And it would have only given them a little bit of range. I've linked the jump range. I don't think the link actually worked in Twitch yet.
It did not.
Into it, yeah, it broke. Into Ethereum reach, but it's really just a corner of the southwest part of the region. Overall, though, if they had anchored it, I don't think it would have been that big of a deal. And because they have also taken some SOV in some other areas, it's not a big deal either way, essentially.
I mean, it would have been a big deal because it would have been anchored. They're significantly harder to kill when they're anchored than when they're anchoring.
Yeah, but it is only Great Wildlands, right? Like, it's not like in the core of space or anything.
Yeah. It would have given them a
progress.
Keepstar on the periphery. Yes, it would have been progress.
Did this happen pre or post patch?
Pre-patch, wasn't it?
Pre.
It was like last weekend, wasn't it?
It was a week ago today, basically.
Yeah. So
we streamed it. We were live for it. What do you mean? Don't you remember?
Yeah, I'm fairly sure that was us watching the fascist star getting killed. And they're all just blurring together, aren't they?
Yeah. That one, I was not
That was way back
entirely
in
on stream
August.
with you guys, but I was in that fight. That was fun.
I mean, fight, but yeah, I get what you mean.
It was a fight.
No. They tried to defend, they just did not succeed whatsoever.
Okay. All right. Well, reluctantly, I'll give them that. So that's the beachhead stopped. I guess at the next step for Imperium. Oh, sorry, let's just call them Goons. I guess the next stop for Goons is just to try again to put the next beachhead up if they really actually mean it. And they get it anchored, they'll fit it full of modules, and they'll presumably, right, tell me if I'm wrong, right? They'll presumably fill it with Titans so that they can have an epic showdown up when they do get one anchored, right?
The whole ultimate goal of anchoring this Keepstar is to solve the problem that they have right now. So like they've got the system right on the other side of the long gate jump from GTAC Q. I forget which system that connects to, but it's one of those jumps that the gate jump covers more distance than what Titans and other caps can jump. So they need to find another way around. This would have given that way around for them essentially.
Okay. And so find another way around or try and do it better. Do the same way around again. All right. Well,
But, if you look at the battle report, there were Titans in this fight, though. Completely unharmed, left alone. No, they were just smart bombing or something.
There was smart bombing? Yeah.
They did nothing. Like, I think only 7 or 8 of them actually even show up on the battle report. There were like 15. And they just sat in a little ball. And nobody tried to kill them. It was really disappointing.
But it was an online timer, wasn't it?
Yeah,
yes.
Timer.
Yeah, so they would have tether, so nobody's going to molest them.
Well, not while they're setting their smart bombing, they wouldn't.
Okay.
They were actually, off tether with active modules, yeah, but nobody did anything. I suppose Horde didn't have subcap control of the grid, so...
Well, they mostly brought Retributions.
Retributions, Harpies, and Malas, I think it was.
Well, I mean, maybe they were bait Titans, because you get distracted, kill the Titans, then all of a sudden the Keepstar anchors, right? So...
True.
Yeah, but I mean, comparatively, like a dozen Titans versus a Keepstar anchoring, I'm taking the Titans personally.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough.
Different mindset though when you're defending your home space.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's nice to see. I mean, there was a lot of goading and mocking from Goons during their minor floodplain killing campaign, saying that Horde wasn't showing up to fight them, and now I guess Horde has shown up to fight them. We'll see what it is, what it turns into. Right now, unless anybody has anything else they want to say, as we move on to another topic, we are gaining a guest to the stream. Welcome, Kazanir, to the stream. Here, just as we get into the next topic, giving you the ability to get in on the ground floor of what we're about to talk about next. How are you?
Happy to be here. Yes. Hello.
Excellent. Now, are you going to be happy to hear, of course, that this week we found out that Elon Musk is interested in sticking his oar into EVE Online?
That's not what happened. What are you even talking about? I don't understand why anyone's even talking about this.
Well, I mean, it's just him tweeting, so it could be entirely made up, given it's Elon Musk. But he did say that he had spoken to CCP about potentially making an AI integrated video game in the future, which obviously sounds like
is an AI game that only AI could do. So
Elon
trash,
Elon
I guess.
Musk himself tweeted this.
Yes,
Yes.
he did.
Yeah, it was actually on his. I want to double check that it wasn't a meme post. It was actually.
It was real.
Yeah, no, he meant
Yeah.
it.
I could totally see Helmar jumping out of his chair to take that call, though.
Well,
Oh, yeah, of
Skyhawk, to be
course.
fair, I can agree with you. But I can imagine Hilmar jumping out of his chair 5 years after the fad has passed.
I mean,
we're 2 years in.
Yeah.
We're already late.
I mean, let's use our creative imaginations for a second, guys. What might, aside from CCP and EVE Online, right? What might an AI game even look like or do? Can any of us imagine any kind of game that only AI makes possible?
I mean,
Matrix.
if Elon Musk is involved, it's probably a game where you constantly quest for the love and approval of your parents or something like that.
Where you constantly quest for the love and approval of your children.
Yeah,
That's
too.
actually more accurate.
Quest for the love and approval of everybody in the world.
Of anyone, literally anyone. Please love me. I'm Elon Musk.
I remember there was an Onion article where the title, it was just a guest article by Elon Musk, and the title was just "Please like me."
So just kind of on the AI video game thing, right? So
yeah,
there are some very specific niche cases where some of the tech is possibly interesting. So, but it's a lot of it's in the narrative, right? Having a narrative world and NPCs that respond to the actions that you've done in the world around you as you've been playing the game. There's something that a model would actually be probably reasonably good at. Because obviously, as long as it can't create every pathway of everything a player could potentially do.
I mean, it's maybe at a most basic level. It could only be good if the agent had like really strong guardrails, right? But most obviously, text and voice to talk to characters in the game. At the most basic level.
So there are some conceptual things that it's useful for. I mean, I look forward to the first Elder Scrolls game where somebody convinces an AI to give them the weapon that wins the entire game immediately, because God bless our Lord and Savior Todd Howard and his massively exploitable video games. But
yeah,
there's probably some there's probably some use case. It's not going to be a truly AI game though, right? It's going to be like a game that uses some AI tools.
Yeah,
and then you can
be
do
made
stuff.
by AI.
I mean,
coded
injecting an NPC an exploit, the greatest thread in the history of forums.
I mean, right? Listen, I'd like to try and hear an example where this what I'm about to say isn't true, right? But surely 100% of video games, board games, chess, right, are in their fun is entirely defined by the fact that they have a rigid set of preset rules, right? Games are all about what can I do within this set of rules. If I'm playing SimCity, it's what can I do on a grid. If I'm playing EVE Online, it's what can I do with the available ships and modules in the game.
Also on a grid.
Also on a grid. But I can't think of a single game that doesn't have rules, and I will say that the rules are the only thing that make games fun.
Yeah, I mean, what if an AI comes up with those rules and they don't make any sense?
Well, the thing about
that
AI
fun?
is that every single interaction that we have with generative AI is the result that comes out is inaccurate. It doesn't follow its own rules. It changes its rules as it goes around. I might even say that, imagine you are sitting there and you're generating an AI image. What I typically see in an AI image is people trying to get something and then just saying that what they got out was what they intended to get out of it. meaning that it didn't follow any rules whatsoever, really.
I mean, there is a whole industry around things like prompt engineering for a lot of those tools, and there is definitely, I like to speak from kind of a professional sense, there is definitely a bit of a, you ask it a question one way versus you ask it the question, pretty much the same question a slightly different way, and the quality of what it gives you is a lot better. But you do have to define the rules when you're asking it the question, rather than rush to ask it a 3-word question and then it comes up utter garbage, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's super difficult to use for something like, say, dynamic content generation, right? Just because it's a super immature technology, and what it is at its heart is it's non-deterministic programming, right? The output is not deterministic, and when you're making a consumer product, and in particular building an experience, no one expects Eve to be like the equivalent of a AAA, Metal Gear Solid or God of War Ragnarok, where it's a game and it's like a movie. So people would certainly accept a lower level of content, but when you're the company thinking about what am I going to offer, is it going to ever be I think dynamically generated with the tech in the current state? No, there's too many essentially consumer safety problems with things as they are, independent of then you move to what is the experience I want to offer? Can I get essentially the right art and narrative direction out of my dynamically generated content with the tech in its current state? That again, it's evolving fast, but I feel like there's not going to be a lot of AAA companies that are going to commit. Well, yeah, right. Debatable how fast, sure.
I mean, Kaz, I think that's something that we might take from that. If you're going to put a gargantuan amount of effort into putting the guardrails up to guide the kind of experience AI is going to provide for narratives in games, why not just write the narrative?
Well, and sure, and that's exactly. I'm sure that the first people. I don't think the first people to do that cost benefit analysis is going to be CCP and say yes. Is basically my take. Meanwhile, though, there's these other tools that really have nothing to do with the sort of ex nihilo. Let's produce as much of the music of words as we can. But stuff like I play this mobile war game, which is very famous for having a game that's nothing like it as its YouTube ad. You may be familiar. But so there's a universal translator baked right into the chat app. Anybody's message, I can push a little translate button and boom, it translates to the language to your local language. And so I'm playing this MMO with people from all over the world, and we're killing people. It's fabulous. I'm just floored that a mobile game has done this. I'm not floored, of course. It's sort of obvious when you look at it, but so those sorts of things, I'm interested to see what tech advancements are possible.
Yeah, I think the problem here is Elon, and Elon's biggest foray into AI is Grok. And let's just could you imagine Grok talking about the Mimitar Amarian slave stuff? I don't want that near my fucking game.
We need them to unleash current Grok in one portion of the map and then Mecha Hitler in another portion of the map and see what happens.
Anyhow, on that note.
But I mean, perhaps the most relevant use of, generative AI would be in the future. We can finally get rid of those pesky FCs who always want to fight. We can have AI FCs to lead the line members on wild goose hunts. That'll be good.
I don't think equipping players with that's a good idea. But if you just let the AI compete on the map, right? Say you're an AI. Give it a MCP or whatever they're called. They have tools, is what they're called. Give them tools to interact with the Eve client, and say, okay, you have an APM of 150. Make the correct decisions and try and carve out a piece of the nullsec Sov empire over time.
I've just realized, from what you're saying there, I've just realized that Eve Frontier, given it has a complete external application access, even down to flying ships, that Eve Frontier is exactly where you could hook AI directly into the flying of all the way down to the flying of ships. Right now, you could do that now.
Jovians would be proud of us.
Use the AI off onto a game that is tied to the blockchain. Nothing could go wrong here.
Nothing at all. No.
Do you know what?
Nothing.
I would still never touch it with a barge pole myself. But now I'm excited to see what's going to happen with Frontier. I want to see just how hard it will spiral and crash and hit the ground now that we're in the era of AI and they've made a game that can be remotely controlled by.
People have been predicting blockchain is going or Bitcoin is going to crash for however long.
We'll see. We'll see.
Do you think it's against EULA to have an AI that reads your overview and target calls for you? It'd probably be it would do a terrible job. We're talking about an Eve. Because technically it's not making any action that a player isn't making, right? Because the player's still pressing the buttons.
It's not.
It'd be fine.
Making a face.
It'd be fine because it's
not-
only reading
not
the
sure.
screen, not interacting with it, so it's okay.
They're gonna hear that though, and they're gonna go update the EULA now. Now that that's out there.
Redline is correct that that's definitely like the border. That's the gray area right there. Is what is legal if you can capture a screen and write it to a JPEG. You know.
Okay.
You can have chat GFC. All your shots on the grid.
Right. Well, we've got. We do have another topic to talk about before we move on to our big one, which is the patch. And I'm trying to come up with words to say as I scroll back to remind myself of what the actual third topic is. Bear with me.
Really? You don't remember?
Yeah.
It was the feeders, wasn't it?
Yeah, they were pretty cool. Well, I've already asked if you watched it. A couple of you watched those there.
I watched it.
That was That was. I take it none of you were taking part in that yourselves.
Not this year.
Not that you know of.
It's a significant amount of effort, and props to all the people who do it.
Yeah.
But I am burnt out just from Captain's Cup earlier in the year, so we decided to give it a skip this time.
Yes. You can expect to watch this under the command of Puce in a following tournament rather than
Hunger Games.
This one here.
That's happening this year, I think.
Yeah. I will give some personal experience of being graciously being able to be part of the team this year. I was able to have my first time being part of the broadcast team. I was I don't like they call it the talent, and I think that's a bit of a big-headed thing to call it. What I will say is that I applied specifically to be a commentator in the matches. And they had boxes to tick. It's like, do you want to be a commentator? Do you want to be an analyst? Or do you want to be a commentator and an analyst? And I ticked commentator. And they, I had my interview, and they double checked. They were like, just to check, you only want to apply to do commentary. And I said yes. They said, you don't want to do analysis. I said no. And then they scheduled me almost entirely for analysis. So I did it anyway. And I tell you what, I had a really great time. And, anybody that likes talking about ships and balance and about the tournament, honestly, when you get the chance next year to fill in the form, do it, because you will have a really good time. You also get to see behind the scenes just the huge amount of work that so many people that don't even appear on microphone or camera put into it. It's a big production, and they got people putting a lot of effort into that there. So yeah, I think more people should apply for that. I mean, that'll probably make the selection process a lot harder for CCP, but they do very much appreciate having plenty of people to choose from. So I recommend it.
What was your overall analysis?
My overall analysis, well, I took my angle as being why people would choose certain ships. Ship and weapon balance, things like that, which is our next subject, which is the big patch of the week.
Wasn't there one? Weren't we going to talk about CSM briefly?
Oh yes, we were. The dates for
red line for CSM 20 across the screen. Right. I understand.
How convenient.
What's it say?
How convenient. So. It is the CSM 20 Do Your Part article that they posted. We have the dates, They want candidates to put their submissions in between the 23rd of September and the 7th of October. So, you know, people will have 2 weeks to decide if they really want to do it. 2 weeks to decide to decide if you're really up to the task, Redline. And they'll also have how dare you? They will announce the candidates just 3 days later on the 10th of October. So during those 3 days, CCP will do your background check. They will type, as they do every year, they will type a bunch of slurs in the office into their search box and search all of your chat history and EVE Online to make sure that you're not a appalling racist. And then you've got a couple of weeks. You got a couple of weeks from announcement. Just 2 weeks to run around and do what you can. Get your name out there. Now, of course, only fools would be limiting their campaigning and their horribly political behind the scenes wrangling, limiting themselves to those 2 weeks there. So anybody who's serious about it is going to probably before now have already been starting to infiltrate, to schmooze, to make false promises about what they're going to stand for, and you know, we'll see. Is this the year? And I know that he's in the chat here, guys. Is this the year that Milint gets his spot on the CSM?
No, it's not. Why would it be? It's never going to be that year.
Milint, I certainly hope you're running again because it's always entertaining.
I enjoy how exhausted, borderline traumatized Redline sounds each time someone mentions a really, really bad idea or some type of fake news.
How do you know that Millen contributed to the best campaign stream I was ever in, which was with Mark the director at the time, who had a literal meltdown on stream?
Yeah, do you know what? He used to be even taller. Mark used to be even taller. He got shorter during that because he melted slightly.
There's something I need to address in chat, actually. So I did recently, I will come clean, activate a kill right, and the ISK, 15 million ISK, did go to Absolute Order. And I am very sorry to the EVE community for this. It was necessary at the time, and I did not know. So just getting out ahead of that.
Hey, listen, there you go, guys. There is a candidate who wants to tell you all of the wrong things he's ever done ahead of time. He's honest.
You said his name 3 times. Now he's in chat.
He's been in chat since the beginning. Right, now, I gather that we have in this channel 2 upcoming CSM candidates. We've obviously got Redline and we've obviously got Puce. But Luke,
it's memes. I'm not.
Somewhat,
no, absolutely not.
We somewhat disappointingly we don't have you this year, and I will be biased here about it and say that, you know, I think you've done a good job. So why can you tell us why you're a coward this year?
Well, I am Turnbox, so you can for anybody that's not familiar with the CSM, and actually there's a second person in the channel, it's the same. Kaz is the same. Once you've been on the CSM 3 times consecutively, you are asked to take a year off, effectively. You're made to take a year off if you choose to run again.
Now, off the top of your head, Luke, are there any other current CSM members who you believe are going to also be held back this year because they've done 3 consecutive terms?
So I think there's 3 of us. It's myself, Kazanir, and Storm Delay.
Of course, Kaz, I should have just asked you.
I don't think space law is legal. I'm going to run again. Year 4. Let's go. Let's do it.
You're going to, you're turning the presidency into a monarchy here, aren't you?
Wasn't there a lot of turnover in the CSM last year? Because last year there was a fair number of people that were turned out.
Not turned, but just rotated by means of democracy.
Yeah,
and a couple did not run again.
Yeah, we had. Did Brisk time out last year?
No, 2 years ago. But then last year, Amelia and Shines both did not run.
That was the year before. Yeah.
But yeah, 2 years ago, Brisk and Ken were termed off, and then this year Ken returned after skipping a year. But yeah, really was happy with a lot of the new faces this year. It was very productive. Part of why I'm here, trying to continue to advance the storyline quest before we all rotate.
You mean lobby Puce, right?
I mean, lobby everyone. But we'll come back to
lobby
that.
everyone. That doesn't sound like that gets you anywhere. Come on. Make some brutal choices right now.
What kind of master psycher would I be if I couldn't offer a holy path to unity and a glorious game design? But like I said, we'll come back to that. Let's do the patch.
It is patch time, and we have another guest with us here to talk ship balance. We've got 6 of us in channel currently playing, and coming to tell us just exactly how the meta works today in EVE Online, we have current non-player Baltram with us.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for the invite. I don't play the game, but I have a huge opinion on how the game is supposed to be played.
He has one single huge opinion. Right, listen. Let's get the patch notes up. I'm going to paste a link. What would the date have been? It would have been the notes from the 9th. Okay. So I'm posting it into the chat so that other people can follow along as well. The patch notes from Tuesday. Now, obviously, we're not going to look at the patch notes between Tuesday and now, because that's just bug fixes, like fixing the fact that you couldn't Bastion in HiSec, which is hilarious. All of that Bastioning you need to do in HiSec for those missions. But should we take a look from the beginning of these patch notes here? It starts with a balance for drone assign down from 50 drones, or a maximum of 10 full people assigning their drones, down to 20. So I saw some whinging, some proper whinging about this here. It would be from somebody unnamed, but they were complaining that they could no longer run their PvP Gila fleets because they couldn't get loads and loads of drones assigned to the FC. I mean, they were laughed out of the room because the obvious suggestion of how about you get your guys to fly their ships instead, activate their own weapons.
How about you press F?
Yeah. Yeah. What did anybody else think? Have any thoughts about this drone assist? Because obviously it changes a lot of, should we say, workflows in EVE as well.
Make it 0.
Make it 0. I agree. Get rid of it. I don't see why. There's these niche gameplay uses, right, where you can assign drones to somebody and not be ECM. Well, whilst you're ECM'd, you can use it to drag on an interceptor and decloak people and things. I don't think these are valid reasons for drone assist to exist when they're the only weapon that somebody else can trigger for you. And they are used extensively in multi-boxing. The nerf to drone assist hasn't really affected the 5 Algos, 5 Arbitrator, 5 Vexor common multi-box setups, because you can still run 20 drones, which is 4 flights, and then your 5 from your ship, so that's 5 ships. I think it should just be got rid of.
I mean, I view it not really as any different to if there was a gun assist where you just assign your stack of guns to the FC, to be honest.
I mean, there's a variety of trade-offs there, unlike other weapon systems, in a variety of ways. I generally favor multi-boxing capability in this game. It's one of those things that, unlike most games, your APM and EVE can scale either linearly or even super linearly. Whereas in most games, it just caps out, right, the amount of skill that you can apply. So something to enable those sort of multi-boxing setups I view as generally positive, right? Obviously, the conclusion here is, okay, well, this was OP and specifically sentry drones. So I'd almost rather have wished them to find a way to nerf sentry drone assist specifically, where the alpha is the overwhelming. Why is it that the sentry drones all get to attack at the exact same time? Because, of course, all the other ones that fly don't work like that. They have flight time.
Okay.
But it is what it is. You can still do a 5-man, and I think that's totally reasonable.
All right, real quick. Where's the vertical or horizontal skill expression in assigning drones when multiboxing exactly? Exactly, that's what I thought. Yeah.
I mean, it's not, except it enables these things that do take more skill to fly. It's sort of a middle ground, right? It's something where you don't get all the benefits, or you shouldn't, of a gun or a missile, right?
Like when I'm
That you
when
have
I'm
these drones
multi-boxing
that
multiple
can be
ships, though, my skill expression comes from like double clicking with different ships in space, manually piloting them potentially, right? Clicking modules on them, like assigning drones is like there's like zero skill in that, right? Like you do it before the fight even starts, and then you forget about it.
Unless you
So-
warp around and you have to do it again, you have to remember to do
yeah,
it.
I mean, that covers a lot of the cases. It's true that set it and forget it, right? Is that the best part of Eve's gameplay? No. But
I mean, basically, I suppose that each of us has only a slice of the experiences of doing this or being on the receiving end of this or both. And I will say that my slice of experience of this is people using a bunch of drone bonus ships, and just having the FC essentially just activate everybody's weapons, basically. Peace is here all week. Redline. You can keep coming back to his shows. He'll give you a new cracker like that every single night.
There's just so many fucking patch notes. If we spend this long talking about each part,
You're
we're
right.
not going to get through any more of them.
Yeah, drone assist, whatever, dude.
That's why on
Sentry
open
drones.
comms we only got through ships.
Sentry drones. Signature radius has tripled from 100 to 300 meters.
That
now,
is a
obviously,
cringe change.
what that means in reality is that they're going to get hit more reliably by turrets. Missiles would hit them the same every time because they're stationary, right?
Just comparatively, I think it's important to point out here, you're looking at, for battle cruisers, them being about 200 meters for sig radius, and battleships are about 400. So that's where this puts them.
It's a drone.
Okay, interesting.
It's a goddamn drone.
This is
drone with a
overkill. in my
battleship
opinion.
class weapon.
Yeah, there we go. That's a good point. Yeah, and of course, sentry drones, when they are almost always used by ships that give them a really fat hit point bonus as well.
What was the problem exactly with sentry drone signature?
I can't say I heard a lot of people whinging about not being able to hit.
Yeah, because I thought like you either bomb them like with bombs, I guess, or you like smart bomb them, or you just shoot them with something. Like I think they just die very reliably. No, before that change, I don't know.
Yeah, but now they die even more reliably.
Yeah, but was that necessary? I mean, as I said, I'm the guy who doesn't play the game, but was it an issue?
I don't think so.
I don't really know where this
I don't think so.
came from. Is it so that like a cruiser can track a sentry drone better without the sentry drone tracking the cruiser?
There is a note here. There is a note
not.
here. It does
there's a note so that they can take more damage from missiles, bombs, Vorton projectors, and are faster to lock, so they can be countered more effectively.
I was wondering if the lock was the thing they would like. I don't feel like
That's the biggest thing for me.
But I wonder if there was a bit of a concern that we see before with big fleet fights with large quantities of sentries and ships not being able to clear them fast enough to make them hard to counter. Therefore, the lock time.
It's interesting you say that. It's interesting you say that. K Daddy in chat has a theory. He says it was a preemptive change so that with the armor changes, now that armor Ishtars are much faster, we don't see a return to armor sentry Ishtars. And I'm guessing that what he really means is armor sentry Ishtars as the be all end all fleet ship, like they have been for short periods of time, a couple of times in the last decade. Well, 15 years, but you get the idea. But let's talk about that speed, right? This is these speed changes to armor ships are basically down to the speed drawback of armor rigs being switched to a penalty to agility instead. So in theory, all armor ships, so long as these armor ships are using armor rigs, are faster. Faster in a straight line.
You, baby.
Faster in a straight line. Because obviously,
yes.
Faster in a straight line. So obviously, the as we all know, the ENI definitely needed to be faster in this game, right? It's now even faster again. Incredible. But with that, lower agility, it's not going to be changing directions as quickly. It's going to have trouble slowing down to start applying its blasters. I'm assuming blasters here. I know that most people in Eve fly it with rails like cowards. But, it's just going to ask a little bit more of people to manually pilot their ships. We'll see. We'll see. But it came with a new skill. Anybody here want to lay out what this new skill added to the game does?
Nope.
2% reduction in mass penalty for armor plates, and it is a very, very, very tiny amount. It's like a couple of meters per second, I think, on 1600 plates.
It's a skill point.
It's a skill.
Think.
It's a skill.
That's a place to put those skill points you get from logging in from time to time.
Honestly, I am coming up to like 19 years playing this game. I saw that there was a new skill coming for armor, and regardless of how weak it may be, I was grateful to have something to train.
Well, for some people, it might not be a lot, but for me, it's huge.
Wasn't it just like the 50th anniversary of the Stanford prison experiment or something? Anyway.
All right, hey, listen. Let's talk about ESSs, because we've had a couple of balance changes to them.
Yes,
Is anybody
Marauders
here
are
surprised
out.
to hear that? Yeah.
I was surprised to hear that, because that seems to have been the thing that a lot of people were enjoying about ESSs, just going in with their Vargers, waiting for things to come in and just popping them. But they can't do that anymore.
A lot of people
It's
like
very
it.
sad.
You mean the residents of the resident block?
Yeah, sure, yeah. Because you become a fisher, right? It gives us a taste. Like typically, if you're going fishing, you're going hunting in a sense, right? Or maybe you are really a degenerate and take up residence in Great Wildlands and wait for PanFam supers to come through for weeks on end. But that's a different story. But this gives the nullsec, or gave the nullsec peeps a taste of that, where they would post up inside the ESS and just wait, right? Just let the crabs outside do their thing and see who comes by as that main bank gets larger. So it is sort of sad, but maybe the CCP is right, and we'll see a greater diversity of that happening with non-Marauder battleships in turn. IDK.
Well, what we will definitely see in the ESS is insane confessors.
Oh.
We're going to see Tech 3 destroyers, but notably utterly insane confessors. Has anybody here flown a confessor since Tuesday?
Nope.
Not since
I'm
Tuesday.
doing the rocket DAWs, dude.
We had some excited discussion about the possibility of a Logi confessor, and then quickly realized that it has very short arms, so potentially isn't actually that useful.
Wait, what happened to the confessor, dude?
T-Rex, they deleted it, bro. They deleted it, bro. It's gone now.
Well, number one, as
I
number
see.
one,
No,
kind of
I see.
segue. Yeah. Number one, they can tactical destroyers can now go into ESSs. I'll be real.
Huge.
I didn't know they couldn't. Before, honestly.
I did. I tried to take a Hecate into an ESS plenty of times. Even after
this
I knew
makes
I
them
couldn't.
the only small ship, right? No other destroyers or frigates can.
Okay. All right. It feels like it's just one of those, by allowing them into ESSs, it's just kind of that overbuff type thing. Like, hey, use something you haven't used for a long time, guys, and here's a place to use it. But okay, sure. Let's look at the
It might be,
first.
but we need more of that. So.
Yeah, I mean, maybe to some extent. Yeah, overall.
No, definitely.
In fact, both the Confessor and the Steeple gained a bonus to remote assistance. Notably, the Steeple got a bonus to remote shield booster amount. Confessor got remote armor amount and a reduction in activation cost on both of them as well. So they do more reps with their remote reps, and they've had a reduction in the cap it takes to use them. Okay, so the Confessor has the Confessor and the Steeple both have a couple of utility high slots as it is.
Yeah, it's epic, dude. Holy shit, I'm super excited. Think about it. Remote rep confessors.
We have been thinking about it, and our resident.
I haven't been thinking about it at all.
Like remote rep confessors, but like 5-6 people was like, oh, holy shit, so much fun, like before this change. Now it's even better. I mean, how is that not amazing, dude? It's pretty cool.
So something that I would love to know from the inside, and Luke, you may well know, but obviously you can't. You can neither confirm nor deny. I would wonder if CCP considered that people might just fit a confessor with a full rack of remote reps, rather than just like turning them into mini RRBS with just like 1 or 2 on, right? But we took a look at the numbers. Even just when you're fitting just regular T2 remote reps, not even Dead Space, these things are incredible, albeit close range, small logi ships. I mean, we could see them like a remote rep confessor repping another confessor, making it be, not that dissimilar to the rep power of a Guardian. It might be something worth bringing up, but it also might not be worth bringing up. People might just not fly them because they haven't got much range on those. You've got to brawl that logic confessor.
At what point would you just not use the Guardian?
When you want it to be far, far lower sig and far faster with an afterburner.
Are cooler as well.
Yeah. Way lower sig, especially in defensive mode.
It reps harder than a Deacon, but it also reps at half the range of a Deacon. So that's quite a massive trade-off there. I mean, I'm looking at the, what was it, like 13 kilometers, and it just drops off to basically nothing.
Like yeah. Yeah.
Got to stay bunched up.
All right.
Yeah. It's got trade-offs, is what we're saying here. But I will say, trade-offs aside, that thing has very, very big numbers. Very big numbers.
Big number on paper equals good.
We know this. What's next on your list?
Next on the list. Oh, subtle. It's the Ferox Navy issue.
Is it?
Well, we've skipped
Marauder
Marauder.
module. You skipped the Marauder nerf. Just a little bit.
Yes.
Should we do the violin for Marauders right now?
Listen, if you're unable to get some very powerful performance out of a Marauder now, quite frankly, I think that you're quite a pathetic person.
Wow.
Shouldn't speak ill of the dead.
All right.
So now you can talk about the Ferox Navy.
All right, cool. Everybody's favorite ship, one of the variants of the Ferox. We love seeing these in space. We love, I am absolutely sure that half of the game logs in and they are jumping up and down and like drooling out of the side of their mouth, going, "Oh,
okay,
I hope we
get
get
on
to fly
with
another Ferox today."
That was a better obituary this time. How dead is she?
So we've had both nerfs to the Ferox Navy issue, not the Ferox Navy issue, and 2 large and medium railguns overall. Now, I think that we can probably all be of agreement that large fleet fights in subcaps are basically done these days, mostly in Feroxes and Rocks, right? Does anybody feel that that's not true?
Don't forget about the Vultures.
And the Vultures. Well, that's more of the elite version, That's a lot more to ask people to SRP, even though it's far more powerful. But, nonetheless, Ferox Navy issue, it's got lower damage, it's got lower tracking, it's got lower power grid, it's got lower CPU. It had a bonus to shield boosters, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Right. Reduction in shield booster power and CPU requirements has been improved. So the shield boosters are easier to fit, which is handy given that they've nerfed the power grid and the CPU. I guess they wanted to differentiate the Ferox Navy issue and make it so that it wasn't easily just better Ferox for fleets, right? They want to push you closer to fitting it active tank. Any further thoughts on that, or should we talk about railguns overall?
Excellent. I think we should just skip right to Naglfar's, honestly. Because you said they nerfed railguns.
let's
They reduced the
point out
tracking, range, and fall off. So instead of you know being 280 kilometers, it's 250. Woohoo! Like.
So railguns are dominating all sizes, so they got nerfed. There you go, get in the bin. But they didn't really throw them entirely in the bin. The Megathron had its tracking bonus buffed to make up for the lower
Megathron Navy specifically.
Wait, where is the Megathron? Didn't we just skip a whole bunch of stuff, dude?
We probably
It's further
did,
down, but I'm talking. I'm
That's
talking
tying them
about
together.
the Navy Mega. Yeah, because that's why the Navy Mega got buffed. But all right, go on. Listen, Naglfar and Naglfar fleet issues. Redline. Tell us about the Naglfar and the Naglfar fleet issue.
Well, I'll tell you what, those ships are getting a little bit
I'll
of a
tell
change.
you what.
I'll tell you what, the Swagglefar is getting an extra mid slot, and it's losing a low slot. You know what that means?
Another extender.
Yes,
There's
sir.
going to be a paper in Science about how schizophrenia is suddenly a treatable illness. Good job to CCP. It took far too fucking long.
I mean, it's kind of obvious, isn't it? How many mids does the Phoenix Navy issue have? Does that have 7 still? Oh, I saw everybody on camera. Everybody on camera turned their heads towards their Eve client to double check.
And I have 8. Okay.
8. Okay, so slot. I know that it's got different stats as well, but slot wise, that's still the better shield tank. All right, so
Well,
you've got
but
those
it's not
5
vertical
low slots.
supremacy. So that's important. You have to recognize vertical supremacy is a thing.
Yeah. And now you can. It's a shame you can only fit 5. You can only fit 5 gyros to your nag now, not 6 like you were
It
previously.
just needed to not be mentally ill. It didn't need to be the best. That's really all.
I do like that this sort of it does help put it in the along with the Moros. It does a little bit more of a nudge towards it being your gank dread choice. But I don't
say
think
it's no longer schizophrenic, but the Nag fleet does still have a armor rep bonus alongside its shield rep bonus. So it's still a little on the edge there.
Incredible, mate. Does it have a fall off bonus?
It's dual rep
Stop asking
curious.
questions.
Listen, I can see the light on your face as you switch between stats. So I
So open Pytha.
Yeah.
Okay, well, while you're opening Pytha, tell me
Damage
about
and
the
rate of
Sin.
fire and grappler fall off.
Oh, yeah.
So
Now,
I mean, one of the
wonder-
complaints with the Nag, right, was that you couldn't transfer a fit from a Nag onto a Nag fleet and get that grapple bonus.
A Nag
which
feet
people seem
issue.
pleased about. Nag feet issue.
Oh no!
So I guess now the Naglfar can use its grapple, which cool.
I might say that it might also be cool if they, now that it's lost a low slot, if CCP could just admit it and then remove that armor rep bonus and give it like a fall off bonus or something. That might be kind of handy. All right, hey, listen. Speaking of ships that are changing in purpose, the Sin has been revamped again. This is the second revamp for the Sin in a few years, because obviously several years ago it gained rep drone bonus to try and turn it into some kind of logi blops. But they've taken that away now after quite a short amount of time for an EVE Online balance pass, and they've given it a warp scrambler range and strength bonus. So it's gone from a not very good logi blops into the tackle blops, which can now do its damage. Yeah.
Is that something that's necessary on a Blops? I've never been on a Blops fleet ever.
Yes. Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So one key thing that you is really handy about having extra warp scrambler strength. Obviously, we know how useful range is, but strength is people like to use blops to tackle supers. So you need a lot of points of strength. So with a Sin turning up, and now even on a T2 scram having 7 points of strength at level 5.
There you go, Bolton. Good job.
It's going to be a lot more reliable. Now let's have somebody else tell us all about the apocalypse. And who are we going to nominate? Who wants to tell us all about the apocalypse?
I want to. I'm fucked off with the apocalypse, dude. Like that change.
Yeah.
Holy, I got a huge opinion on that. Okay. So, like, why are they taking away the tracking bonus? That makes zero sense, right? Like, that was the niche of that ship. It's like, okay, we fit plates on it, we fit pulse on it, we fit range on it, and then we can track any ship within 100 kilometers as long as it's not a frigate afterburning, right? And they take this away, so it's just a fucking Abaddon now, basically, right?
Ultram, I might counter that by saying that now that it has extra range, so you don't need. You could take those optimal range scripts and switch them for tracking scripts.
No, you can't, because there's actually the way the math works is that the bonuses on the hull are not stacking penalized with like bonuses from your tracking computers, right? So the bonus on the hull plus tracking computers is way bigger tracking than just slotting 2 more or 1 more tracking computer in your mids, like gigantically amount more tracking. Okay. And it was literally like, if anybody remembers, like 100-man Tengus or some shit, like that was like the designated ship to counter 100-man Tengus. It's like Navpox, because they can shoot far, they have slow rate of fire, so decent alpha. It's a battleship. They don't just like explode. Yeah, like it's the thing. And now they took it away. So like, what's the role that this ship fills now? Like, what's the point of it?
Well, rather optimistically, I was hoping that the Apocalypse and the Navpoc their role was going to be high DPS pulse sniper. But of course, I was being incredibly naive because I only a day or two ago, I saw a bunch dying where people had simply opted to just put tachyons on and just use its extra range bonus to turn it into a 200-kilometer ship. And I realized in that moment that I should have guessed what people were going to do with it.
Everybody wants
Does
to
still
be a
struggle
rock
to
dude.
fit tachyons.
Yeah, I'm interested in the exact fitting of that and how the bonuses stack out now based on, because what Beltram is saying is correct, like the ship bonus does not have the same stacking penalty. But equally, if you're just like moving scripts around, it might not be about adding an extra tracking computer anyway. You might be able to avoid an extra stack penalty.
I just think like it was such a beautiful ship, like such a beautiful design, you know? It had its role of like, hey, the enemy brings like cruiser hulls, hacks, T3s. We have a million doctrines. One of these is Navpox. We undock Navpox and we can fight that.
It had to be nerfed because of the incoming inevitable return of AHACs to combat the upcoming battleship meta.
Like,
which I think is about where we're at in the patch notes.
I'm looking forward to AHACs making a return.
Like AHACs, 100-man, like Cyclone Fleet issues, anything that's like kind of not super easy to hit, the Navpoc pumps it, yeah? And they take the one thing that makes a Navpoc a cool ship away, which is, I don't know, it's like people that don't play the game.
I mean, I'm not so sure. I mean, I take what you mean about, you know, even if you're using tracking computers with tracking speed, it's not tracking like it used to. I take that, but can you really not track 100 MN Tengus or 100 MN Cyclone Fleet issues if you just stick a couple of paints on them and put a couple of tracking speed scripts in?
Have you tried? I mean, you do.
No, it's been about.
But
it's been less than a week.
It's really nice when they sit at 100 kilometers shooting heavy missiles or some shit, doing 100 MN.
It also has a damage bonus. It has a damage bonus that it did not have at all. It does 25% more damage at level 5 than it did before the patch. So it may be losing the ability to hit as hard at target going sideways, but it's got 25% more damage on top of that.
Okay, so as far as I know, how math works is whenever you multiply by 0, that 25% damage bonus still equals 0.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the Apocalypse and the Navpoc from a place of shooting other battleships and stuff, you know. And
yeah, but I don't think that's what it's for. It's for killing cruisers with the tracking bonus.
Well, not anymore. It's not.
Yeah, unlucky, dude. You know. Oh god.
As chat
But-
has clarified, we can all just start doing drugs.
Yeah, everybody just do drugs. But that's
I think it's a
assuming
bit of a
that Boltron
reduction
wasn't doing
there.
it before. Yeah.
Saying that without his
I can
tracking
do
bonus,
drugs.
it hits 0% of the time, because that's not how tracking works.
We shall see.
There's
Boltron.
always going to be, chances to hit, and you'll get grazes, etc. It's not always like flat 0.
Well, listen,
I mean,
we've got people.
As people in chat are saying, you can stack a drop on top of tracking computers.
Yeah, I can stack a drop on top of tracking computers on top of a hull bonus, right? And I don't know. I thought it was like a very cool, like niche bonus to that ship.
I do actually
I don't
agree
know.
with you. I think it's kind of just another Abaddon now,
Yeah,
kind of. The Abaddon is more of a brick and slightly shorter range, but the Navpok is now just also a, laser boat that is
it's
slightly less
also a
tanky,
brick.
but can hit slightly further.
It's also a brick. I mean,
we
it's got a huge
need-
amount of hit points.
Basically, did the meta or like the overall ship balance need another long range sniping battleship? Like, was that something that was missing? You know what I mean?
But then also the APOC and NavPoc were pretty underused. I don't think I ever saw a NavPoc in
Well,
space
APOCs don't do-
outside of
APOCs didn't do any
one of our
damage
members
before
moving
this.
them around as a meme.
Yeah, but I think that was
But
like
yeah.
because maybe the ships that they were designed to kill were not being flown around, and now we're like making AHACs potentially come back, and that would be like prime NavPoc time,
Real NavPoc hours?
Old school NavPoc, at least.
Okay. All right. Hey, listen. We've got a couple of nerfs to the dot ships in the game.
Dot?
Cenotaph got a bunch of things. It's easier to jam now. It's got fewer armor hit points, fewer structure hit points. It's got one fewer low slots. It's had its direct weapons for its projectiles and heavy assault missile damage improved. It's a bit faster. It aligns a bit faster. Any thoughts on that? I mean, realistically, I think that where we're going to see that make the most difference is in a month or so in the finals of the tournament, rather than out in everyday New Eden space.
Which ship was this? Sorry, I zoned out for a second there.
The Cenotaph. The Tholos got a smaller nerf. It just got its sensor strength.
Did they put it?
So this is an interesting one, right? They said that this is specifically to target in wormholes, and haven't acknowledged the fact that it also seems to be a bit of a problem in low sec as well. I don't know about null sec. People, from what I've been seeing, think this isn't strong enough.
I have heard that in nullsec. I mentioned this on the meta show yesterday. I feel it's kind of ironic that they made a ship that can kill Rorquals through panic, and all the people the most upset about it are not the Rorqual users getting hunted out in nullsec. It's everybody else who's mad about the DPS that they bring to the smaller engagements. So yeah, interesting. Well, at least it has a better sort of counter now, and wormholers cannot poop, are degenerates that put purple loot on everything, can't just overtank all 3 slots. I thought that was a cute kind of nerf of like, here's a generic low slot of buffs to all of your other stats. Yoink.
Well, beyond that, we've got, and this might help. This might make you feel a little bit better, Bolt. The Cyclone Fleet issue is now going to be a bit slower, and the signature radius reduction per level bonus has been reduced a bit as well. So, I know that the signature radius bonus isn't really going to help versus 100 MN for you, but at least it's going to be slower overall. Maybe that will go some way to helping. Harbinger Navy issue got a power grid increase. I always felt like the Harbinger Navy issue, if it was going to get a fittings increase, what it really wanted was a bit more CPU, not a bit more
You
grid.
skip a whole lot of ships.
No.
We missed the Maelstrom.
Yes, I did. We'll
You
do the
skipped the
Maelstrom.
Cyclone Fleet issue, the Tholos, the Cenotaph, the Megathron,
we
the
talked
Maelstrom.
We talked about the Cenotaph and Tholos.
Red line is
Wait,
high.
was I just completely zoned out trying to fix
Yeah, you were zoning,
the...
though. You were zoning, dude.
It's easy to miss stuff,
Okay,
though.
look, check it out.
They added so many
Because-
extra notes in these patches that it's easy to skip over some of the actual stuff. There's more notes than there is actual patch note text.
That is a good problem to have, though.
It is. I'm not
They're trying.
complaining.
Yeah.
All right.
So Harb Navy, wish the Harb Navy was good. So far they've buffed it twice with like cap use on energy weapons. I think was the last
That's
one,
good.
and now this
That's
power
good,
grid
then.
one.
Yeah.
They said here that it's to make it better against the other dominant battle cruisers, which are being knocked down. I think they're talking about like the Brutix Navy with rails and stuff there. I still don't think I would ever pick a Harb Navy over Brutix Navy for a nano battlecruiser at the moment. It's just not fast enough, really.
It doesn't have the range unless you fit beams on it, and that just feels disappointing, doesn't it? Should we talk about the Maelstrom?
We could do.
About the Maelstrom being turned into, well, at least they're trying to turn it into the Shield Hyperion.
Yeah, that's what they said on the stream. It was a weird thing to hear, like out loud.
Why?
Wait, what?
I don't.
Why?
I don't know. The Hyperion is just—it's a unique thing, and I think it should stay unique. I don't think we need a Shield Hyperion.
Well, but in leaving it unique, the Maelstrom was also left unique, except the Maelstrom was uniquely bad. Many people have fond
That is
memories.
fair.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I think that, what people... The most mind space that anybody has been giving the Maelstrom for years is, oh, this must be a good arty platform because it's got lots of turrets on it and it's bonused for projectiles. And then every single time they'd look at it and go, do you know what? I'll just use a Tempest Fleet issue.
Indeed, no. I mean, I have very fond memories. One of my first projects working for noted EVE Online player the Mittani in 2010 was introducing a unified fleet doctrine by gifting everyone a Maelstrom, the introduction of Alpha Fleet 15 years ago, and general ship reimbursement. So to see it actually like get a balance buff that brings it sort of in line. People, of course, are sad to not have 8 guns, but sacrifices had to be made for good game design. So and bringing Alpha back to the field in an even more serious way always shakes up the meta, right? That's the interesting thing about it.
Well, if you wanted to fit artillery to a Maelstrom, it's going to be... It does more damage per shot, but you can't get through the shots as fast because it's lost its rate of fire. It's gained some damage. Is it lower damage overall now, though?
No. If you drop down to 6 turrets, right? But the combination of the buffs it got should have ultimately higher alpha. The DPS, yes, is a little bit lower, but the alpha is substantially higher now.
I can't imagine that people would be flying an active tanked Maelstrom and doing arties on it. Overall,
no, that's a different use case, I think. Right? Certainly, I'm talking of how people are going to use it in the nullsec meta. Almost certainly, I haven't even looked.
I think that. Given that it's bonused for its setup and bonused for active tank, I wouldn't expect nullsec to be using it in any large numbers whatsoever over other more traditional arty battleships. But I certainly hope to see it out there. I just can imagine that the only approaching decent fits for it are going to be autocannons rather than arty.
So.
Do you have?
I thought it had suffered a DPS decrease, and Baza in chat also seemed to think it suffered a DPS decrease.
It has,
which does go against a Shield Hyperion because now surely it's a big tornado, I guess.
It's a huge
rather than a brawling active tanker. But
all right, hey, listen, we're all growing old here, so let's speed through some. So the Navy Mega, not the regular Mega, now tracks better than the regular Mega. That is
Megathon.
Hopefully, is trying to make up for the loss of tracking applied to hybrid railguns. The Navy Mega, again, just the Navy Mega, is now both faster base speed, and it has a reduction in armor plate mass, so it's going to be a notably faster battleship. We'd love to see that out there. We've done the Cenotaph and the Tholos. We're scrolling down. We've done the Cyclone Fleet issue, the Harbinger Navy issue. We've done that. The Myrmidon Navy issue. Drone capacity increased. It can carry another 50 meters of drones. And
I have an idea. Pick
Yes.
your favorite ship change on the page and talk about it.
I think we need to talk about the tornado. I think we
Tell
need
us
to talk
about
about
the
the fact that they took the Windrunner tornado out back and shot it in the head.
They did,
I can't
indeed.
say I'm disappointed in that.
Tornado, right? They
Yeah.
took the
The
coward,
coward
version out
tornado.
back. Yes, we used Windrunners back during the war, but they were not a 4-eye stab fit, right? They relied on a well-prepared grid of hundreds of bookmarks and not some nonsense that someone threw together in 30 seconds. All right, I'll shut up now. That's the tornado.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I mean, I've seen these used in fleets of like 50 on an iHub, and it's just kind of like holding someone at range and like lightly slapping them. You don't really, it's not an engagement, it's just trying to pick off some kills, like in a cheap way, I feel. I think that's counterproductive to having actual good fights, personally. So kill it.
I mean,
Thank you.
they took, correct me if I'm wrong, but they shaved at most a tick off of their ability to warp, right? All it does is make them catchable.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you could get it like sub 4 seconds with boosts and enough eye stabs and stuff. But yeah, I think base on a Windrunner with 2 eye stabs, it's like 6 seconds now. Which, you know, if you're probing on grid and you have interceptors, it's easily enough to catch, I think, now. We'll see, though.
I got a few ships we'll just quickly skim over here. The Talos is faster. The Deimos is a little bit harder to hit. The Zealot, the Zealot no longer has a rate of fire bonus, and instead it has a stronger straight up damage bonus. I'm wondering if that means that there'll be viable fleet fits for Zealots that don't need, you know, a cap boot, you know, either a small cap booster or something like that to guarantee that it can keep doing its job. That might be interesting. The Mamba and the Mechubal both got a new bonus. Mechubal got some fall off.
Now tell
Mamba
me,
got...
the faster drones, is that a big deal or not for the Mamba?
It is if you're kind of, you know, kiting around with it and you've got other fast people chasing you around, scepters, things like that. The Mamba having 25% bonus to its drones might help it peel tackle frigs off of it, things like that.
I think it's pretty huge, actually, because like small drones sometimes struggle with getting on top of like fast-moving ships. You know, like I don't know, a Tristan can go 4 kilometers per second. So some drones kind of struggle with that and apply their DPS. So 25% speed increase is huge when it comes to dealing with small, fast things. It's like a tracking bonus, basically, to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, more or less, yeah. All of the Navy scanning frigates got better capacitors, whatever. Skybreaker got an additional utility high. Stormbringer got an additional utility high. Incredible news that I'm sure applies to, you know, everybody watching. Tens and tens of thousands of people here. Outpost construction skill now gives a 1% reduction per level in manufacturing.
Fuck yes.
I will say that this is one of those little things that I was actually happy they put in there, because past level 3, that skill actually did nothing. Which, it's totally stupid for there to be a skill in the game that it makes no sense to not completely train it.
Now, Skyhawk, you be very careful, because people are going to start pointing out all the other skills in the game that basically don't do anything at the moment.
It's good.
Aren't there also some skills that do negative things? Like, isn't there some shield skill that is actually worse to have at level 5 than 4? Forget what it is.
I can't remember that one if there is one, but
now I have to figure it out. That one, tactical shield modulation.
Yet another CSM member joining us here, albeit in the chat, Puke. Yes, we did talk about the now ridiculously fast Blink and You'll Miss Navy Megathron. Thank you for that. Faction
Ridiculous
warfare.
is a bit of an overstatement. I think it gained like 200 meters per second, which, for a battleship, good, but it's still not.
That's a big deal.
Still not amazing.
Faction warfare, all of those, let's say it, career ultra farmers in Angel and Guristas now have to have a standing of 0 rather than -2 to be in there. Some changes to insurgency. Hey, listen, guys. Using a character resculpt, a body resculpt certificate, you can change from male to female or vice versa for your character now. Just remember, you're going to have to buy the female versions of the clothes that you want.
PSA on that too. You can get a free resculpt as part of the free 15k SP that you can get weekly in the NES.
Oh,
so that was included in that this week. This week
until Tuesday.
Yeah, so if you haven't redeemed that, go do it.
If you are even gender curious, the New Eden store has your back.
Excellent. This next bit's funny to me, right? Capsuleer safety in high-sec. Autothysian Lancers. In the aftermath of the Drifter crisis, the Autothysian Lancers no longer have a presence in high-security base. Those things...
Were they killing that many people?
Well,
I got
they don't.
For this.
They don't.
This is
Those things don't kill you unless you shoot them first.
No, they summon drifter cruisers or
if you shoot
just drifter cruisers. I think if you shoot them, but were people shooting them that much that it was a problem?
It's if you have corpses in your
That's not true, actually. So I have done citizen science, and I have determined that if you have a corpse in your cargo hold, the Autothysians do not care. That is like, that's a myth that's been perpetuated.
Were you just on grid with one in your cargo, or did you actually get scanned as well?
It scanned me multiple times, and I ended up. I did this with several different groups, and eventually I just ended up shooting them for fun to see if I could get dropped by a drifter. They don't care if you have corpses in cargo. It's a long-standing myth.
This is
which is pretty cool if you think about it.
I think you're full of shit, honestly. Like that sounds like bullshit
me when I
to
spread
me.
misinformation.
Go and peer review my work.
I don't think so. I want to die to Autocynthian Lancers. What do you mean?
If we get a corpse when we do our roam next week in Redline and come across some Lancers, I will test it.
Yeah, my understanding of this patch note was that someone looked at this in a high sec and was like, they're new to the team and looked at it and was like, you added NPCs that do what to who in high sec, and just got rid of them because it doesn't matter.
But here's the thing that makes me like laugh with in a sarcastic manner, right? Those are the NPCs that they removed from high sec to help new Capsuleers feel safer. What? Not the Edencon
ones or the Edencon ones?
So
and the Trigs.
CCP has made changes with where drifters show up at different times and increase or decrease of presence in different parts of space based off of lore events and like the timeline playing out the way that CCP wants it to play out, which they very carefully guard and don't let us know what's happening with the storyline. And it says there in the aftermath of the drifter crisis. So this could also just be not like a specific mechanics thing, but just playing along with the storyline.
Okay.
Could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know if any of you have approached and shown info on a wormhole since the patch, but it's now far more clear. It'll straight up say it's half used up, or it's got less than an hour left, that kind of thing, rather than it being some arcane knowledge that you have to learn.
It's half used up. That'd be great if it said that. It's a lot clearer. I do miss the little sort of flavor text things. It is now literally just a number, but it's significantly clearer. I don't have to remind myself constantly on Eve Uni as to what each thing means. I think it's a positive change overall.
I'm going to skip all of this super nerd stuff about construction and freelance jobs and stuff because.
Why?
I don't want to talk about it because no one cares.
What? The freelance jobs is the fucking. Hold up, wait a second. Hold on, I gotta get back on camera for this. I was about to go.
Let's go nuts, boys.
If you're just gonna skip the entire fucking sticking point of this whole expansion, the freelance jobs is the whole point of it. You can't just be like, no one
No,
cares.
there's a big thing in here too that we should talk about. The Destroy Capsuleer freelance job. This is basically the return of a bounty system.
Yes.
And it suffers all the same issues that the previous bounty system did.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Except the degradation and tie-dye, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Can I
Is anyone
think I need
tested?
to- I need
TBD.
to- hang on. I need to just talk a little bit about multiple years ago when I had my CSM term, right? I was on the CSM during the time that CCP turned the bounty system off. And while obviously it would be breaching NDA to say exactly what was said, I will say that my impression is that it was asked for by Capsuleers to turn that off for large fights because it was causing lag. And it is my opinion, is the way I'll phrase it, that CCP was of the opinion that the bounty system is not in any way tied to the performance of large fights, as it is processed elsewhere outside of the monolith, outside of the simulation. But they did it anyway to make the people from nullsec who had a big circle jerk about how this was the problem and not that they were trying to pack 8,000 people into a system, that somehow it was the bounty system that was making it so that they were getting lag and slowdown in the fights. So they just
Well,
did
it
it. to
certainly
make people
wasn't
shut up.
helping.
You could see it in the my understanding,
And
is
also
that
you
could
weren't
see it in the
there.
logs. You could see like server calls in the logs that were related to
Yeah,
the bounty
no.
system. While
You
there
can
was
see
also
your client talking to EVE Online, not talking to the core simulation.
yeah, but
Yeah, we're
they
talking about
basically
aliens from the third dimension entering through the
It's like, oh
fucking.
no, this extra packet that my client is sending is causing all of the lag in this fight and not anything to do with the other 7,999 other people fighting in system.
This
And all their
discussion does
fighters.
seem a little tangential to the freelance job stuff.
It really does.
No, I just wanted to go on my rant, but you know, hey,
So-
listen, I will. Go on, you go.
Caution?
I really love bounty hunting. I was once Eve's greatest bounty hunter in one of the player-run systems that was briefly alive. I'm a bit of a psychopath in that I really love just planning to hunt down and kill someone for several hours and then executing it, and you get the big hit of like, yes, I just did that. The bounty system and the freelance jobs system both have the exact same issue in that you can just clear it with an ult and get your money. It's not something they've fixed. It's not something I have really a solution for them to fix, because it is an inherent issue with Eve that you cannot apply like blocks and punishments to a person specifically when you can have multiple characters. Yeah, I mean, it's a thing. Freelance jobs is a thing. I don't think it's this huge thing that they want to make it out to be. I don't know how many people are actually engaged with this. I'd like to see what the uptake is. I think on one of the post-Legion original videos they said something in the region of like 1,500 freelance jobs had been put up, which to me is not a huge amount. I haven't looked at them since the patch came out.
there's something I want to call out with this though. They've solved the problem to a certain degree, because you can pick who can actually who this freelance job is actually available to. So you can make it so it's not open to groups or people that you don't want it to be open to.
So it's
you
only
can-
available to
They added
your
that
group.
now?
Yeah.
So it's more of a system of assigning like a mercenary contract to a specific group than it is open bounty system as it used to be, I suppose.
Yeah,
I
it's
didn't
more like
realize they
either.
actually. I didn't realize they got ACLs done for freelance jobs.
I didn't think they had ACLs done for it yet, personally.
I thought there was let me fire up the client and put a
See,
bounty
now
on
we're
it
just
and
now
test
we're
it.
just
Test it right now.
thinking. Anyways,
So
while we're
I
doing
was
that,
going to key off that. My comment was, because they have not added ACLs, you can actually hike it down to the the western regions of Scalding Pass and accept a freelance job from Goon Swarm Federation, and I'll pay you an extra 100,000 ISK per rat killed. We need
Hey,
those
there you go.
ADMs. Yeah.
Well, one thing I noticed about freelance jobs is that a significant portion of them have really, really tiny rewards because nobody actually wants to be giving other players money in this game.
I upped it
It's
from
like, yeah.
50,000 last month after the pathetic output of August. I thought we should be able to kill 1 million rats in 2.5 weeks, and it only came out to like 200,000. And I was like, "What are you guys even doing?" I thought I had crabs in this alliance.
God damn.
That is a surprise. Goons getting scolded for not crabbing enough. That's really
Finally,
off-brand.
we finally own enough space to challenge ourselves. Is the bottom line, right? If we would just delve, we'd never have this problem. But now suddenly we have, 4 real regions plus a bonus region we left behind, plus another bonus region that our allies took because PanFam couldn't bother to defend it.
Well,
been busy.
guys,
Something just real quick to pick up on the freelance jobs is that it is also possible to issue a repair, remote shield rep and remote armor rep Capsulia job now, which they subtly implied that they are now tracking Logi in one of the dev blogs. So Logi on kill mails, when? Is that finally going to be a thing?
It might be. But I wouldn't put any hope into it. Like,
You're
don't
killing my
hold your
gameplay
breath.
style of
anything.
pretending I'm doing useful things by flying Logi in a fleet.
Listen, guys.
Did they buff Poshvin again?
I'm going to go around the room, Redline, until we get to you, and we're going to do the final thoughts.
No, the fuck we're not. Are you kidding me?
Yo,
my
did they actually
scroll
buff
bar isn't
Pochven?
even halfway through.
Yeah, like I read some shit about Pochven. I don't understand it. I tried it out when it came out, and then I was like, "Fuck this!" But is it buffed? I don't get it. What's going on?
So some of the ISK payouts from sites have been buffed. Some of the PvE sites have been adjusted to make them easier to run, I think. Or
yeah, and why did we need to buff it?
It was dramatically nerfed last December, and the buff
So-
restores some portion of that nerf. But
No,
not
they
really
already
all.
did that buff. They already did that restore Poshvin to normal buff after they made it so that no one wanted to play in it anymore except for the 12 people that
removed the
multi-box in
keys
Poshvin.
Legion, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So they put all this shit on there that made it so that only 12 people wanted to play in Poshvin. And now they're like, okay, please forgive us. Come to Poshvin and play. That's what they're trying to do now. I wonder if it'll work.
see.
But
With
is there
Drake when you
anything
need 'em.
else? You know what? I got an idea. Everybody's got the
some new
patch notes up.
wormholes.
We can
Yeah.
go around the room and instead of doing a final thought, talk about one bit of the patch note that we haven't talked about yet. How about that?
They nerfed
Haven't.
Metnox again. That's mine.
Again?
Yeah, more fuel costs.
More fuel. I think isn't there an oversupply of? Is it magmatic? I can't remember what it's called. Magmatic gases. There's an oversupply, and they
gas.
seem to be
What-
trying to adjust it by increasing the intake on metanoxes rather than letting the market stabilize at all.
Indeed. Well, plus all the we're metnoxing so many damn moons that the price of every moon goo other than R64 has crashed over the course of the last year and a half or whatever it is. So 2 years.
Nicely done.
Yep, go us. Which, I mean, that if I have a closing thought, that my goal is to try and advance the main quest line and bring back passive income to Sav as a game mechanic. And I think what we're seeing
That
with
I can get on
Metnox is
board
that
with.
there's a ton of demand for that type of gameplay, and so immediately all of the moons got seized, and the moon slice of the economy is just not strong enough to sustain that, and there's an oversupply of moon goose specifically. But that Metnox are successful as a gameplay mechanic. People put them down, people fight over them constantly where there's an opportunity to fight. So yeah, that's what we're seeing is just probably the 5th fuel nerf in a row because they're too good in the current state.
Anyone
Excellent.
else?
Well, I mean, given
Give the
that I was
wormholers
kind of
some
leading
love.
it,
Yeah, I think we
got some new wormholes in. C4s have wandering case-based connections now, which can also connect to HiSec. I don't know if they're trying to make it easier for people to live in C4s and in wormholes in general, since the whole sort of blue wormhole thing happened. Not entirely sure what their goal is with this. I'm not a wormholer. Perhaps a wormholer can message me and tell me.
Only thing I was just going to add is just from down at the science and industry part, they have increased Metanox daily consumption, so I think maybe we're going to see less Metanoxes potentially out there, but they did also decrease the volume of magmatic gases, so making things a little bit easier for the logistics bros out there.
Excellent. I think we're done.
I think we kind of skipped over the Tholos and whatever the fuck.
We didn't.
No,
you and Redline.
Please end it.
Absolutely.
No. We just
because we don't.
We like.
Look, it's because we don't play. We were paying attention to our phones. It's fine.
Look, you've made
said something across the lines of like
walk off.
Dude, you literally said like, oh, they got nerfed, right? But what did change? They changed like, what was it like sensor strength for some useless shit, right? Yeah.
It's to make them easier to jam, right?
Yeah, but who cares? Because the main problem with the ship is not that, we can't turn the guns off. It's like once the fucking thing injected its fucking wild seed into your ship, dude, you're dying no matter what, whether you jam it or not, right? So what they need to do...
The biggest nerf to Cenotaph is make the breacher pods actually start a lobby in Eve Vanguard, and then like 5 guys will log in and it won't do any damage.
Look, like the easiest nerf to Cenotaph and the other thing is like once you jam it, the pod runs for like 5 more seconds and then it turns off, or like 2 more seconds it turns off. And you can explain it lore-wise with like, your ship is like, running fucking intel to the boarding team on board, and when the connection is cut off, the boys don't know what to do and die, right? Unlucky. Because
they don't know what to do.
Not the boys.
No, but here's the thing. It doesn't matter whether you jam it, right? Like it fucking shoots a fat rope at you, and that's it, dude. You're fucking cursed, whether you jam it or not. It doesn't matter if you turn down the 6 strength, like the sensor strength. It is like 0 impact.
I mean, the point of jamming is that fewer fat ropes get shot, right, over time.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, you fucking land on grid and you just fucking you fucking go rapid fire with the fucking rope, and that's it. They can jam you.
Listen,
and
we've got the final word on this in the chat. Hoff says, make it so that you can equip a condom module.
Yeah, something like that, like an active condom module, right? Like, I don't know, dude, like active protection against that stuff, Like jamming it does nothing for you at all.
Perhaps a remote or local repair module of some kind.
Well, everyone, it's been a pleasure being back on Untethered this week. I hope you've all enjoyed our show. We're gonna go raid Badman Larry now, and we'll be back next week.
Man, it's in his name.
That's fine. But we're going to raid him, and we're going to be back next week, and there will be no more weeks without an episode of Untethered.
Well, and next week, I really want to make it happen. Do our open comms in Untethered Rome next Saturday.
Very much hope so. It sounds like it's going to be a good laugh. Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. I want to go on a Rome. I'm resubbing. Does anybody have Plex?
You can't just...
You get some Plex, you rich boy.
Yeah, get your own Plex, dude. Anyways,
Plex is sliding in price.
Next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.